Sims Nation, welcome to another edition of the Positively Pat Sims Show. I am Positively Pat Sims, and today we have a very special show for you, so let's get moving really quickly here. First, I want to introduce you to the one and only Seth Sims. Welcome, Seth. And what sound are you giving us this morning?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Whatever sound is keeping me safe from the animals.
Well, it's not working because there's Diamond's
I know.
tail. All right. Also, here today we have in the live chat the one and only, the Diamond Standard, Doc Haywood. Welcome to the show, Doc. Oh, Doc, you're muted, bro.
Good morning, everybody. It's early here in NorCal with the Diamond Standard, ready to give some spicy hot takes.
That's awesome. Here we go. And next up, we have the my fellow WANT legend, the man, the myth, and the legend, the prognosticator of prognosticators. No one comes more prepared than this man, ladies and gentlemen. I give you the one and only Benny, the Jet Scala. Welcome to the show, Benny.
Good morning, Sims Nation. Always happy to be here.
All right, guys, this is going to be a fun one today because we're doing something different, something we've never done before. We're taking some of the strangest, wildest, most ridiculous, and controversial pro wrestling opinions out there and putting them on trial right here. Everyone gets a vote, including you guys in the live chat. All right. Everyone here gets a chance to defend their answer. And by the end of each debate, this show is going to have an official stance. So the majority of your guys' votes, let's say you guys in the live chat, the majority says the agree or disagree. I don't even get a vote. I have to either agree or disagree. All right. So you guys get to make the decision here for the show. All right. So we're going to go one hot take at a time. Every person's going to show their agree or disagree signs, except for Doc, who's going to show it on his phone. And which is actually not a bad idea. I didn't even think about that till after the fact. I'm like, hey, guys, print them out. And then Doc at the end, I can't print them out. I don't have a printer. Can I just use my phone? And I'm like, oh, yeah, we all could have just used our phones. Now I think about it. The guests will get 1 to 2 minutes to explain their thoughts. And then I'll wrap it up, and the majority vote becomes our official stance. All right? So here we go. We're going to start off right off the bat with our first hot take, and I'm going to put it up in the live chat poll right now. All right? And our first hot take is that entrance music matters more than finishing moves. Can entrance music make or break a wrestler's aura? Would stars like Stone Cold, The Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, or Roman Reigns feel the same without legendary music? Are today's wrestling themes maybe too generic? Going against that here. Is the entrance sometimes more memorable than the match? All right. So let's start with you, Benny. Tell us whether you agree or disagree.
Yes, sadly, I have to agree.
All right.
I wish I didn't have to, but just take a look at some of the guys who are wrestling today. Jey Uso, solid hand, tag team specialist, multiple time tag team champion. Never really thought of him as a, what I would call a money guy. All of a sudden, you've got this phenomenal entrance that caught the whole wrestling world by storm. Next thing you know, he's making Gunther tap out, for God's sakes. In his case, I equate Jey Uso to like the Rubik's Cube or what else? The hula hoop, maybe what else? The yo-yo, edible underwear. All fads, right? Things that don't. You got like a Stone Cold, a Taker. When I watch a Stone Cold promo, the entrance music's fantastic, but what his interaction in the ring, like I watched a couple of days ago with him and Sergeant Slaughter, when Sergeant Slaughter was trying to make him give up the IC title because he wasn't cleared that whole promo and everything he did was gold. Jey Uso, once he gets in the ring, I mean, he can't really talk. He's average on the mic at best. I think his brother is better than him, honestly, and I think his brother is just as good, Jimmy, as far as the in-ring work. Jay's got the entrance music. I mean, and another example, would Finn Balor have been the first Universal Champion without that demon entrance? I don't think so. So I would say, sadly, right now the entrance is more important than the moves and the in-ring work.
All right. All right. So we got one vote for agree. Doc, take it away. What do you think?
I'm with Benny on this one. I have to agree.
Okay.
Listen, every wrestling show is someone's first time. It's someone's first experience with pro wrestling, someone's first opportunity to see a character, and your entrance music has the opportunity to sell your character to the audience right out of the gate. If it's your first time seeing Hulk Hogan back in the 80s and Real American comes on, you have every idea of who this guy is. Stone Cold, that glass shatters, that music hits, you know someone is going to get an ass whooping, even if you don't know anything about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kurt Angle's entrance music comes on, boom. You know you've got a patriotic guy and the crowd starts chanting, "You suck." Oh, this is a patriotic guy that I hate. So when I was producing PCW, part of the thing I did, one of the many, many jobs I did, was creating entrance music for the guys and making sure, like you said, it wasn't generic. It sold the character because, especially on the independent scene, a lot of people don't know who these guys are. So I was trying to get your character over with that music. I made some real bangers, especially for the Unwanted. It's one of my favorite wrestling entrance songs ever. So, and to Benny's point, look at guys like Bobby Roode, who really never went anywhere, but man, his entrance music, people loved that stuff. So yeah, absolutely agree. Entrance music more important than your finishing move.
All right. Seth, what do you got?
I have to agree with everyone so far, because I don't know what happened, but entrance has just become more important, not because of what they've done with it, but because all the finishers are barely finishers anymore. You look at pretty much any match now, and it takes at least 3 or 4 finishers, even in the generic matches, just for something good to happen later on, and it's not even about the finisher. Like, it's not even its own finisher anymore. It's just another move, so it makes it hard to even find them memorable.
It's hard to argue that one. And I will say this, like, you can have we've seen guys that, if we reverse this, that have the greatest finishing moves, but if you don't make a strong entrance, you're kind of dead in the water. And music plays a huge part in that. You know, because times are different. We have to look at things now, you know, and when music became a thing, like before that, when there was no entrances, like, go back and watch a Royal Rumble before they started using entrance music. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
To see guys coming down to silence. Like, because the music tells you who's coming and people get excited, they get amped. And for the most part, more people can probably sing at least the tune of people's theme songs. Maybe not as much today as they used to, but then they do know everybody's finisher, or at least the name of their finisher. So, all right. So, obviously, guys, we're going to end the poll. The poll agrees with all of you. It is a sweep across the board. The official stance of the Positively Pat Sim Show is that we agree that entrance music matters more than finishing moves. So, let's get on to our second topic, our hot take, if you will. and that is that the Attitude Era is the most overrated era in wrestling history. Now, there's some people out there that are probably ready to fight with them words. All right, but was the Attitude Era truly the greatest era like it's presented to be? Or do fans mostly just remember the good stuff? Right? Was the weekly product actually great from top to bottom? Did the era rely too much on the shock value, the Jerry Springer style? Could the Attitude Era work today? Was ruthless aggression better? Let's find out. Let's start with our panel. Let's go with Doc first. Doc, give me your thoughts.
This one is it's a tough one for me because it's hard to understate how exciting the Attitude Era was, but I have to agree.
All right.
Because yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was objectively not good during the Attitude Era. I remember I was very excited to get back into wrestling, and I was telling people in my youth group, some of the youth leaders that I was working with about it, and I was like, "Hey, let's watch some wrestling." And it was Monday night, and we tuned into Monday Night Raw, and it was the very infamous Val Venus Kayatai episode where they had the samurai sword, the salami, and I choppy your pee-pee.
Right.
And just all these youth leaders look over at me like, dude, Doc, what are you talking about? The good stuff was amazing. You had The Rock and Stone Cold and the feud with Vince McMahon. You had DX, but you had a lot of objectification of women. I really didn't like Jerry Lawler's constant puppies, which kind of turned me off to him as a commentator. So yeah, I have to agree that the Attitude Era was overrated. I much prefer the Ruthless Aggression Era. I think that was the best era in modern pro wrestling. You had the classic guys from the 80s coming back, Hogan. You had The Undertaker, you had Shawn Michaels, and you had these new guys like Kurt Angle and John Cena and Edge. So yeah, Ruthless Aggression, I think way better than the Attitude Era, even though back at the time as a guy in his 20s, I was all about the Attitude Era.
Right. Yeah, it's Eric Porter says Attitude Era was the best because even mid-card and lower card all had storylines, which is true, but were those storylines actually that good? Were the matches actually that good? You know, there's a lot of question marks. Like when you go back and watch something from the Attitude Era, can you sit through an entire Raw and not get to moments where you're kind of going, this is what I was losing my mind over, because times change. We look back on things and sometimes we look at them with rose-colored glasses because it was part of our childhood. And sometimes we look at it objectively and go, yeah, this just isn't that great anymore. But I don't get the final say unless the score is tied. So we're going to find out. Right now it's tied in the live chat. So keep it going, guys, in the YouTube live chat. Get in there. Say hello, by the way. Let us know you're here. And then get in that live chat poll and vote now. All right, Benny, what are your thoughts on the Attitude Era? Is it the most overrated era in wrestling history?
Well, first of all, I reached out to Zach Reed because I wanted some food stamps to display as a visual, but he did not get back to me, did not return my calls. Kind of like the whole Hogan Orndorff thing, no return phone calls. You know what that led to, right? But yeah, I'm going to agree.
Okay.
I mean, yes, you had the Monday Night Wars, which were spectacular. You had Stone Cold, you had The Rock, you had the evolution of Mr. McMahon, you had DX. But then you had Mae Young giving birth to a hand. You had Mae Young doing the Bronco Buster after she poured a can of tuna fish juice in her underwear, which could not have been very good for her opponents. You had, like Doc said, you had Kai and Tai. A lot of bad. You had Katie Vick, which actually stopped me from watching wrestling for a couple of years. So I would say absolutely overrated. People tend to remember the good stuff and they tend to forget the bad stuff, but there was plenty of bad stuff. Now, I'm going to go back to the Mesozoic era of wrestling, which is when I grew up. And, as a kid or even as a teenager, I could every month go to the Nassau Coliseum, watch a wrestling card for, $5, which even back in the 70s was relatively inexpensive. And I could do that every single month. I could see these guys month after month. I didn't have the inundation and proliferation of wrestling that we see now where we can watch it 24/7. But I had my Saturday morning, I had my magazines, and I had my monthly visit. I would even say that whatever the Hulk era is, that maybe that first 3 or 4 years after Hulk arrived and, the whole McMahon Jr. thing, the Rock and Wrestling connection, I would say that was far better. I mean, you had 33 million people watching Saturday Night Main Event. You don't have, even in the Attitude Era, you had nothing remotely close to that. So I will say, yes, indeed, it is overrated.
All right. So far, we're 2-0. Seth, what do you got?
I'm going to have to disagree
All
with
right.
everybody.
Okay.
Not because I think it was overrated. I think it's because as of now, when everybody had liked it before, it was overrated. Now it's everybody's saying it's overrated. I haven't seen a single person ever defend that it wasn't overrated. So who the heck thinks it's even good at all now? There's no one on the defense at this point. So how can it be overrated if nobody is even rating it at high points at all?
I mean, that's kind of a good point. A lot of people that I talk to that I know don't speak overly highly of the Attitude Era. I think one of the reasons why we get the overrated tag is because of the WWE and the way WWE treats the Attitude Era. I mean, think about the latest edition of WWE 2K. It's all about the Attitude Era. It's all about the Monday Night Wars. That was the Attitude Era. And I think that's what we look at and remember. I honestly don't think the Attitude Era standing on its own is something to look back on and go, that was the greatest time in pro wrestling. I think, and yes, I agree, Grandmaster, at the time, the Attitude Era felt like must-see television. It was a point. You had to tune in to see what was going to happen. But I also think that the Monday Night Wars made it even more so. That whole WWE versus WCW war on Monday nights, that made pro wrestling in general must see. And that's my stance. And the live chat, we had a little bit closer chat this poll this time. And 60% agreed with you guys. So the answer is the official stance of the Positively Pat Sims show is that we agree that the Attitude Era is the most overrated era in wrestling history. And I don't know if we're ever going to have an era again that's going to be heralded as the greatest ever, just because wrestling fans, the internet wrestling community, the IWC, always is just split right down the middle, and they're very tribal, so it's very hard to ever get any traction. As even when pro wrestling is exploding in popularity and doing very well with ticket sales and merchandise sales and people watching on streaming, no matter how good it does, there's always a group of people that likes to go, oh, this is bad. It's like, well, it looks like you're in a bit of the minority there, brother. All right. Let's just have fun, shall we? Can we just enjoy pro wrestling? Please?
Pretty please.
That's my only thing with pro wrestling fans. It's like, if you're a fan, you should be enjoying pro wrestling. All right, here we go. Let's move on to the next one. But before we do, really quickly, a shameless self-promoter as I am, please make sure you get it over to positivelypatsims.printful.me and pick up your Positively Pat Sims Show merch, including the items on your screen. iPhone cases, Letterman's jackets, which, God, those things are beautiful. I can't wait to get one. The mouse pad, the tank top. I am so excited about this. So let's keep moving, though. And our next hot take is WWE. This is going to burn a lot of people. WWE should stop calling John Cena the GOAT. So is John Cena truly the greatest of all time? Is WWE forcing that GOAT label on us too much? What about Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, even Roman Reigns? Does longevity make Cena the GOAT? Did Super Cena maybe hurt his case here? We're going to find out right now. So, Seth, I want you to go first. Tell me, should WWE stop calling John Cena the GOAT?
Yes.
All right.
They need to. Everybody needs to stop calling anybody the GOAT at this point. The slang of 2026 is so annoying because it's just already existing terms that end up being used incorrectly. Even my brother does it, and it's extremely annoying. Just everybody is the GOAT now. Why is everybody the GOAT?
Right.
John Cena's great and all, but I will take The Undertaker or Ultimate Warrior over him. So
wow. That might be fighting words for some people there.
So I'm gonna say no, he's not the GOAT. But also you keep calling everybody the GOAT. So you can't say everybody's the greatest of all time, because if everybody's the greatest, then the worst person is the only, acceptable answer, because he's going to be a unique answer.
Yeah, I get exactly where you're coming from. Now, I don't think Warrior's in the conversation. But I mean, if you were growing up in the 90s, in the early 90s and late 80s, I don't care. If you were a kid growing up during that era, if you were my age, but Warrior was definitely in that conversation. Because you didn't care about how good he was in the ring. You weren't worried about that. You were having fun. You were entertained. He did his job.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a very tough one. But and Grandmaster kind of makes it, it does depend on your definition of the word of greatest of all time. But, it's so subjective, isn't it? Like, WWE is telling us that he's the GOAT, but isn't that kind of like our decision? Don't we get to decide who the GOAT is for ourselves? But I agree with you, Seth. Your brother has this way of making everything great and the greatest, which is a great way of looking at things, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that. Except when it comes to stuff I like, then all of a sudden it's down, it's mid.
Or stuff I like. If it's me, it's the worst choice of my life.
Right, but he has like that's the GOAT. He'll say, this guy, he's the GOAT, and then the next guy's the MVP. Well, wait a minute, shouldn't?
Yeah.
Make up your mind, bro.
Yeah.
So I get exactly where you're coming from for your age range here. So, all right, let's go to Benny. Benny, give me your thoughts here.
I am going to agree with Seth. I'm going to throw some numbers out here to you guys here. Hang on one second. Got to switch the specs. All right. So, Cena won 17 world championships. His total reign as world champion was 1,420 days, which is an average of 83 days. So, his average title reign wasn't even 3 months long. Flair, 16, so one less, but 3,735 days, which is an average of 233. Hogan, 12 championships, 2,910. Bruno, 2 championships, 4,040 days. I would say that, maybe you could call Cena the greatest of his era, the Gohi, but I would venture that even, Bruno is my time. And if you want to, although I think, I don't want to erase my history because, what are we going to do in 30 years? Say, well, Roman Reigns didn't count. It's only for the last 30 years. History is history. Flair traveled the country, defended, went 1 hour draws night after night after night. Cena didn't do that. He's going, 10, 12 minutes. I would say, for the last 25 years, Cena, yes. But of all time, absolutely not.
All right. Doc, give us your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I got to agree. Cena, for me, not even in the conversation of the greatest of all time. Benny said Bruno, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those are the guys that we should be arguing about. Cena, at the height of his career, had the whole audience divided. You had the men in the audience saying Cena sucks, and the women and the children saying let's go Cena. So with Hogan, the whole arena, not just the men, but the women and the children too, were saying, we're cheering for Hulk Hogan. So John Cena couldn't even get the whole fan base behind him during his biggest babyface run. So I don't know how we can call this guy the GOAT. He has 17 championships? Yeah, because WWE wanted him to be the GOAT. And we said no. And we're still saying no. So no, John Cena is not the GOAT, not even in the conversation. Don't put him on your Mount Rushmore. Forget it.
Doc not holding back on his thoughts or opinions as usual, which is why he's very much appreciated here. He'll take some of the heat off me from time to time. So I don't want us to forget what the actual thing we're agreeing or disagreeing to. So we're not agreeing or disagreeing that John Cena is or isn't the GOAT. What we're trying to say is that WWE should stop calling him the GOAT. So if you don't think he's the GOAT, then obviously you think WWE should stop calling him that. Now, obviously, we are the live chat is split 50-50. So they're done. They're out of the conversation. So we're going to end that poll. Oh, nope, at the last second they have agreed. At the very last second.
Just barely.
57% agreed, 43% disagreed. So the official stance is that we agree that WWE should stop calling John Cena the GOAT. Now, here's why I'm glad that we agree. It has nothing to do with whether I think John Cena deserves the title of GOAT or not. It's that I don't think WWE should be calling him the GOAT. I don't think WWE should call The Undertaker the GOAT, Bruno Sammartino the GOAT, Hulk Hogan the GOAT, because as soon as you do that, here's what you're doing. They're saying John Cena's the GOAT. That means everybody you're watching now is less than. Why the hell do I want to watch a show full of less thans? I want to watch a show full of guys that are on the rise, that are the next GOATs, they are better than what came before them. That's how you want to present your product. You don't want to keep calling the old timers, or I don't mean to call them old, but you don't want to keep calling the guys from the past the best, the greatest of all time, because it lessens what you're watching now. Does that make sense? I hope that's kind of making my stance a little bit more clear here. It has nothing to do with whether I think John Cena is or isn't the best or the greatest or whatever. But the company shouldn't be doing it. That's my point. All right? So whether you agree that John Cena is or isn't the GOAT, I'm glad our official stance is that WWE should stop calling him that. Michael Cole gets so excited to say that John Cena's the GOAT. And it's like, shouldn't you be just as excited whenever Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns and CM Punk and any of these guys come out? Shouldn't we get that excited for the current crop? All right, enough of that. Let's keep moving through here, and we are on to hot take number 4. We're going at a good pace here, and that is that CM Punk is more valuable before the bell rings than after. So this is a tough one. You got a guy that calls himself the best in the world, and we're saying that before the bell rings, he's more valuable. That doesn't mean he's bad in the ring. We're not, okay, well, let's get this clear. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that his value comes more so before the match. Is Punk's greatest value his promos, personality, controversy, and presence? Or is Punk still a top-level in-ring performer? Does the match sometimes matter less than everything surrounding it? Is he more valuable as a talker than a wrestler? Does Punk make people care before anything physical ever happens? All right, so this is going to be, I don't know, this might be a tough one for a lot of people. So let's see where we stand. We're going to start with Benny this time, and while I get the live chat poll set up. Benny, you are muted, my friend.
Sorry, my pup was barking. I am going to agree, but I mean, it's not. I think Punk is the greatest example of it, but I mean, pretty much you could say almost every wrestler is more sizzle than steak.
Yeah.
You don't have a Dean Malenko anymore, or a Brad Armstrong, who are phenomenal wrestlers, or a Bobby Eaton, who really can't carry the mic. Every one of these guys has to be a mic man as well as a ring man. Now Punk just happens to be superior. I mean, how many wrestlers have a promo? When you hear the term pipe bomb, what do you think? Any wrestling fan worth their salt thinks of CM Punk. So I would say, as good as he is in the ring, I would say that Punk is far more valuable, because nobody can really advance a storyline or hype up an angle like CM Punk. So I will agree with that.
All right. Grandmaster, the information I have contradicts what you're saying here. You said Punk hasn't re-signed yet. His contract expires in November. This is why they moved the booking of Punk versus Cody. The information that I've gotten is that this has always been the plan. That Punk was going to take a break. He was going to come back. He was going to have a huge return, and that he was going to then go against Cody at SummerSlam, and that's why Sammy won the title. It was essentially always meant to be a Saudi moment that was going to facilitate a quick turnaround for Punk to take the title, and then Sammy would be able to go full-fledged heel. All right, so if you look at it, it makes perfect sense. It actually makes more sense that way, and I don't see Punk not re-signing unless they ask him to take a massive major pay cut or insult him in some way, which hasn't happened. All of these stories are all debunked and fake, so it all depends on what you think is going to happen, but all the information I get is and have seen says the opposite of that there. So, but to each their own. Here we go. Let's keep moving. Doc, what do you think about CM Punk?
Agree. CM Punk is a promo and a Pepsi tattoo. I cannot remember a CM Punk match for the life of me. To Benny's point, I remember the pipe bomb. I remember a lot of promos of CM Punk whining and complaining. I am not a CM Punk fan. And yeah, just the guy, he's an okay wrestler. He's a better promo, especially when he's complaining about something and whining. Personally, I'm going to be happy when CM Punk retires. I'll be happy to see him go. I think he's got a fan base, but those fans suck.
Ouch. I'm part of that fan base.
You suck.
I like Punk.
No, thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right, Seth, what do you got? Agree or disagree?
I agree that he's more valuable outside than inside the ring because I can hardly ever remember a single match that he's been in. But you show me any of the promos that he's done, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Or anything where, like, I don't know, he storms into the ring pissed off and challenges some guy. Like, he's really good at making everything outside of the ring and future matches seem extremely wanted, but then you get to them and it's like, okay.
All right. So the live chat poll, we're gonna close it out. It's there's no way we're gonna come back from this. It is 80% agreeing that CM Punk is more valuable before the bell rings. So our official position is that we here agree that CM Punk is more valuable before the bell rings. Now, once again, I'll make this clear for all of you CM Punk fans that are getting all worked up. Except for Doc for the most part, this isn't a choice of whether Punk is good in the ring or not. This is just, is he more valuable before the bell rings? And I would have to agree with the same thing. Do I think Punk's one of the best wrestlers in the world? No. Right? A lot of his stuff looks pretty sloppy. His Macho Man elbow drop is just not good. And that's putting it mildly. His go to sleep is pretty sloppy. There's other people that do it better. But he has a connection with the fans. All right. We could have made this about several. We could have said, is Stone Cold more valuable before the bell rings? And the answer probably is yes. Stone Cold was, after he became Stone Cold with the neck stuff, was not that incredible of an in-ring performer. He was highly limited, and most of his matches were brawls, right? It was him. He was entertaining. He did a lot of stuff outside. You could say the same for The Rock. You could say the same for John Cena with his 5 moves of doom. You could say the same for Hulk Hogan. There's very few guys in this business that I think you could look at and say they are more valuable in the ring or just as valuable inside or out, right? I think AJ Styles would be a guy where you could say he's more valuable in the ring than he is before the bell rings, right? But then there's other guys, like I would say Macho Man is a great example of a guy who's just as valuable before as he is after. Right? So this isn't just an attack at CM Punk for all of you Punk fans who suck, according to Doc, which is me included. Well, I guess it's a good thing that I didn't put CM Punk's logo as part of my arm sleeve tattoo that I'll be getting tomorrow, because then Doc would really give me a hard time. But you know who is Doc? You know a couple logos that are going to be on there? One of Seth's goats. The Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior face paint logo is going to be on there. And the American Nightmare logo is going to be on there, as is The Undertaker. Not his logo, but The Undertaker, because of course he will be. All right, so that's it for hot take number 4. Chris Hall, I have seen you in the live chat. I've reached out to Chris. So Chris is going to join us after we finish up with hot take number 5. Chris has woken from his slumber, and he has let us know. So, Chris, brother, that's strike 1.
I guess Punk gave him a go to sleep, right?
Right. Yeah, Punk must have. Yeah. I like that. Oh, man. All right, here we go. You have a valid reason? No, you don't. There is no valid reason to miss this show. Yeah, okay, put it in the live chat. Put it in the live chat right now. What is your valid reason? Unless it was, okay, here's the only valid reason. Remember you said that. Here's the only valid reason I'm going to accept. That you met the hottest woman you've ever met in your life, and she kept you up for the vast majority of the night. That's the only reason I'm accepting. right
Let's
now.
let's hot.
What
take
if he
his
woke up-
reason. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, let's hot
He's got
take
a
it.
good
Let's
reason.
hot
Oh,
take
what
it
if-
right now.
What if he woke up and saw the Ultimate Warrior?
Well, that would be scary because he's dead.
Exactly.
Legitimately this time. He's like not like back in the rumors like the pro wrestling conspiracy theory show we did. He's actually dead now.
Mhm.
And we're waiting, Chris. We're not moving forward. We have time. We're ahead of schedule.
Can I vote in advance? Here.
He's voting in advance that he disagrees or he was too busy reading your book. And that is a good excuse. He was reading my book.
Hey,
and
you can't tell him what a good excuse is. He's going to use that.
That's an Eddie Haskell excuse. I'm not buying that.
Well, you know what? While we wait for that, let me just say, speaking of my book.
Hello, Mrs. Cleaver.
I do have the first book, Vengeance, is still available for sale right now on Amazon. It always will be. Amazon Kindle paperback and hardcover. And we also have just released on the 3rd of July, Vengeance, Blood of the Cross, the sequel. And that is also available for Kindle paperback and hardcover. Both books are available for free when you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription. So make sure you check those out. Do me a favor, get on over there. You can do it during the show. Get over there, get your copy today. I want to say a big bit of appreciation to Chris Hall, to Benny Scala, and to Doc Haywood, all of whom I know went on and purchased their copy. So I am very, very thankful to them for doing so. And all of them kind of made it a point to let me know how much thicker the new one is than the old one. Because one of the things I got was Doc even sent me a review one time where he was like, really good read. I wish you to flesh some of this out a little bit. So I'm like, all right, ask and ye shall receive. So we went from
I get sick.
That's what she said. We went from 150, like 151, 152 pages for the first book to almost 300 for the second book, and the third and fourth and fifth when they come out. So yes, they are thick there. All right, so Chris Hall says, I watched your show, which was last night, which I did. So, okay. Video called a member of our group who was having a hard time with his accountability journey for an hour or two until I did about an hour workout at 10 p.m. Then I stayed up. Wait a minute. Okay, so the first part, like, that sounds really good. That's really nice. You were helping somebody out for an hour or two. You did a workout late. I'm proud of you there. And then your answer after that is, I stayed up. Doing what?
You could have gotten.
That is.
You could have gone to sleep.
I stayed up. I did. I stayed up. Keep reading. Putting my answers for the show. Oh,
answers for
putting the answers. Okay. So
you can do that in like 5 minutes with ChatGPT.
Chris, we're gonna give you a hard time about this no matter what. No matter what your answer is, we're gonna find a way.
I stayed up till midnight last night. I'm in the same time zone as you and Chris, because Lady Haywood, the most beautiful woman in the world, kept me up till midnight wanting to watch Supernatural.
Oh, phew.
And so
I didn't know where he was going with that.
Hey, you want some spicy takes? I'll give you some spicy takes.
It's a spicy meatball.
Yeah, woo-hoo. Stayed up till midnight last night, and I got up at 5:40 this morning, made my coffee, and I was ready to go. I'm still raring to go. The Diamond Standard always bringing the energy. So come on, Chris, you got to do better, brother.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, shoot, I was up till 4 in the morning. I didn't go to bed till 5 o'clock, and I got up at 5:30, and I was right here. Come on. I was 2 out. I mean, all this is telling me is I get it. I get it. Priorities, bro. Oh man, Chris, you're our little whipping boy this morning. So what happens when you don't make it? When you don't make it on the show, you get picked on a little bit. This is what do we call that? What do they call this in like in football? Hazing. This is
Hazing,
our hazing ritual, which I don't know how when hazing got out of hand. I'll admit that, but I don't like the fact that hazing got like a bad rap. Like I played football. I was in high school. I got hazed. I don't care. You know what it did? You know what hazing did? It just made me look forward to when I got to do it. I took it though, because I'm like that. To me, I felt like that was the paying your dues. Now you can go too far. You can take things too far. Yes, but like guys would complain because during Hell Week, they would get woken up at 2 a.m. and they'd make us run the track. Ooh, you poor babies. And I hate running, but even I was like, dude, suck it up, bro. So, all right. Well, I think we're all in agreement here that we disagree that Chris has no excuse. Or no, we disagree that he has an excuse. We're saying he has no excuse because this show should always be a priority. You make it your priority to get here. All right. I mean, even Benny, you always make me worry. I love you are like I love you, Benny. You know this, and you are the most prepared person in the history of the show, more than me sometimes. But you will make me sweat because I'll see that you've read my message with the Zoom link, and it'll be like 6:58, and I'm like, "Where's Benny?" I know he saw my message. And then boom, last minute you'll pop it. Now I always know you're gonna get here.
I will always be here on time and prepared.
You will always be here on time, but I swear, like that's just me because I'm always that everything's got to be early. Like I'm that Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last. So it's like if I'm not early, I'm late. Deal. And when it hits like 5:50, I'm like, oh god, like what happened?
But since you made that a point, though, I have gotten here earlier.
You have. I will say this. Benny is like if you say anything to Benny about like this is it, Benny will always like he'll correct, he'll overcorrect. Benny's awesome. Benny is always prepared. Says Mexican Spice Channel.
There you go.
Mexican Spice Channel. Do we know you?
Sexy Mexi. Thank you.
That is very. Oh. Yes, Benny, isn't that your co-host?
That's my tag team partner in crime for my Tuesday night Sexy Mexi and Italian Ice show.
Yes.
Amelia Valerio.
Is that your
Sexy Mexi?
That's your new show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, I know who that is because I saw your promo image the other day and stuff. I'm like, all right, look at that. Look at that. My connections to Benny are paying off. We have one more viewer than we would have had.
Kindred spirit.
Yeah. Oh, welcome to the show, Mexican Spice Channel. Love it. Love it. All right. So let's get we've made Chris wait long enough. Seth, what are you doing over there? Because you're just looking down all the time.
I'm just
share with the class what you are doing that is so much more important than this.
Well,
because
I can't be involved with this silliness.
You could have. Yes, you could have.
No, I'll
show the class what you're doing.
Okay.
As long as it's appropriate. Show the class what you're doing.
Okay, I'm watching TikTok, and the reason why you keep seeing me smile is because I'm laughing at this one video on repeat, and it's this guy playing Fortnite fighting Buzz Lightyear, and Buzz Lightyear glitches, raises his arm, and flies away, which is not supposed to happen, which is why it's funny. And so I'm just thinking, to infinity and beyond. So it's super dumb.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. That's good. All right. Let's go on to hot take number 5 so that Chris can then jump back in here. All right, AEW has too much talent, and that is actually hurting the company. So is there such a thing as a company having too much talent? Now, this doesn't mean, again, let me make this clear. Is it too many really good wrestlers? And we're just saying they have too much. They have too much overall. What is AEW again? AEW, my dear, is the competition. All right, you have WWE, you have AEW, and then behind that you've got like TNA and some smaller indie promotions after that. So does AEW? Oh, let me show you I made this. Might as well show it to you. Does AEW have too many wrestlers to properly feature everybody? Are stars getting lost in the shuffle? Would some AEW talent be better off somewhere else? Does AEW need fewer dream matches and more focused storytelling? Is a stacked roster a blessing or a booking problem? All right. Now, again, I want to make this very clear, guys. We could have the same thing right here about WWE. But I wanted to make sure we include other promotions here. And one of the biggest complaints has always been that I've heard is that AEW has too much talent. That they're just anybody WWE is letting go, they're gobbling up. Anybody that has a history in pro wrestling, they're gobbling up. All right, they're collecting action figures, as they say in AEW. So do you agree or disagree that they have too much and it's hurting the company? Doc, let's start with you. Do you agree or disagree? He disagrees.
Disagree.
All right.
I disagree. It's not the size of the roster, it's how you use it.
Boy,
And
you're just
I
full of double entendres today.
Spicy takes. I think what hurts AEW the most is how they use their roster. It's not how many guys you have on the roster. I mean, look at WWF back in the golden era. Vince McMahon was kind of doing the same thing. He was gobbling up the top guys from all the territories and using them effectively. You can have the ruthless aggression era. Even the mid-carders were super over because Vince knew how to use those guys. WCW, they had a very large roster, and when they knew how to use the guys, they were amazing. But it's when the inmates started taking over the asylum that WCW started to crash and burn. So I say it's not about having a big roster. It's about having crappy writing, crappy storylines.
All right. So we have one vote for disagree. Seth?
I'm with Doc here. I have to disagree.
Okay.
I was pretty much going to say the exact same thing as him. It's not that they're better. It's how they're getting used. So I don't want to repeat myself later because it's pretty much the same explanation for other answers. But yeah, it's not that they're better that's hurting the company. It's what they're doing with them, or it's not hurting the company now. It'll hurt the company when they don't want it anymore.
Okay. Benny, what's your thoughts?
I'm going to take the contrary stance. I'm going to agree.
Okay.
Although both Seth and Doc make valid points, but I'm going to again throw some numbers at you. Tony Khan is a child basically playing Richie Rich, playing with dad's money. Acquiring toys, and then he plays with the toy for about a half an hour, gets tired of the toy, throws it in the pile. Toy doesn't get used anymore. So I'm going to edge in the last 2.5 years, since the beginning of 2024 till the present, wrestled 36 matches. Darby Allin, 62. MJF, 45. Now, Jey Uso, 161, just in comparison. But, again, what Doc said, there's a lot of merit to. Vince did snap up all the talent from all the different territories. The difference between him and Tony Khan is that he ran house shows all over the country. And not only did he run house shows, but he ran A, B, and C shows. So you had the A show with maybe Hogan and the upper echelon, and you had 3 sets of men and women working. So yeah, maybe it's not that it's the amount of talent, it's the deployment of the talent. I'm going to say agree, but I think they both have very good points.
Yeah. I mean, wrestling history, whether we like it or not, does seemed to be repeating itself over and over and over. But the success of that history is what changes. Vince McMahon basically destroyed the territories, bought up all of their major talent, which WWE likes to gloss over, right? As much as I love WWE, they like to kind of rewrite their own history here. But Vince did. He went into the AWA, he went into Crockett, he went into WCCW. He grabbed everybody he liked that he thought was going to help put him over and let him go national. But he was very successful at it. And a lot of that stems from the fact that WWE was run by one guy, Vince McMahon. Now, fast forward, and Eric Bischoff does the exact same thing with WCW. He's grabbing established stars. Now, he's not doing it from a territory side. He's doing it from a national side. People all over the country already knew who Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and all. They already knew who all these guys were. Where when Vince did it, they were more territorial. Hogan wasn't known all over the country yet. They might have known him from Rocky III, but they didn't know Hogan as a national star. They didn't know Roddy Piper as a national star before. They were territorial. All right.
Yeah.
When Bischoff did it, they were national stars. But when Bischoff did it, he wasn't the guy that had overall say on everything, and he let, like we said, the inmates run the asylum. Now, Tony Khan is almost like he is a mixture of the two. When you are desperate, you buy your competition. That's pathetic. Grandmaster, are you serious right now? Like, are you serious? Buying your competition is desperate? That is, yeah, you are better with competition, but when you see a sinking ship and there's value to be had from that sinking ship, the best decision is to buy it so that you have that under your belt. So that
There's a little game called Monopoly.
Right. If let's say Vince didn't buy WCW, Eric Bischoff's investors had already pulled out of the deal because they weren't getting the TV time. All right? They weren't getting it. So what happens to WCW? WCW doesn't just stay low rated because they're going to lose the TV time. Turner didn't want it. So somebody was going to buy it. And nobody else wanted it. So WCW would have just ceased to exist. And then Vince probably could have bought it for $5. Vince paid them for it. He bought it mostly so that he could have the library. He wanted the video library. He wanted to be able to create documentaries and television and all that kind of stuff. You know, and when he paid the guys to close up shop for the territories, right? That's a business move. That happens across businesses all over the. I work for a company that essentially, when they eat up everybody. All right. Now, does that mean they're cowards, or does that mean that they're just better business people than the people around them? I mean, most of those territory guys, a lot of them weren't making a ton of money, except for the holdouts. The AWA was a sinking ship. WCCW was a sinking ship. They either needed to jump on board with Vince, or they were going to die a painful death. So, you're desperate and you're pathetic when you buy your competition is that's just a bad. I disagree with that take. I 100% disagree with that take.
Big red buzzer.
When someone does so well in business that they're able to buy their competition, when they're so good at business that they're just everybody else is falling off the map, we like to tear those people down instead of going like, wow, great job. Dude, like, you crushed it. Why are we so averse to success nowadays? When someone's successful, we turn on them. You hit a button on me on that one, Grandmaster. You hit that You hit that trigger button.
You hit the
on
big
me.
red buzzer.
And a lot of it is because I'm someone that's striving to be successful. I want to be successful. So I work tirelessly day in and day out. I write books. I make music. I do 3 shows a week. I'm working so hard to be successful. And I have a feeling that the moment I become successful, there's going to be people like that are going to think that I'm a horrible person, that I'm terrible, that I was handed this, I was spoon-fed that. There's going to be all these people that make these blanket statements as if they're fact. And that's why I don't like doing that. That's why we're doing this kind of a deal here where we're like, hey, I agree with that or I disagree, but I'm also telling you we're not putting anybody down. We could say the same thing about WWE. We could say the same thing about Roman Reigns, about John Cena, about the... It's all a matter of perspective and opinion. All right, I'm done. And just to prove I'm done. I said after hot take number 5, I was going to let our buddy Chris Hall into the show, but our official stance on AEW having too much talent and it's hurting the company is disagree. Our official stance on AEW having
power off.
I think that was Chris.
That was like when people would call into a radio station
and have the radio station
right, and then they'd
on.
have to go, please turn down your radio.
Yeah.
There's a delay. So, welcome, Chris. Welcome to the show. We are now into the second half here. So, just as a reminder here, let's see if I can remember all this. So, entrance music matters more than finishing moves. Our final result was we agree. The Attitude Era is the most overrated era in wrestling history. We agree. Hot take number 3. WWE should stop calling John Cena the GOAT. Our official stance is we agree. CM Punk is more valuable before the bell than after. Our official stance is we agree. So far, we're agreeing quite a bit here. AEW has too much talent, and that is actually hurting the company. We disagree. So that's our first disagree here. Now, it's not the first disagree vote. We've had some before. So this is moving on here. Grandmaster, I love you, brother, but some of your stuff is right. Some of your stuff is a little like
out of whack.
I would love for you. You have my you have. I sent you my email, Grandmaster. If you have information like that, send it to me. Honestly, send me wherever you're getting this information from, because some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. Right? The information that I've gotten is different from yours. So I'd love to hear. I'd love to see where you're getting your information from. Is it from the horse's mouth? Is this something Eric Bischoff has said? Is this something that WWE says? Is this something? Where are you getting this info from?
Oh,
I'd love to see it. Honestly, I'm not joking around. I'm not saying, I want to know.
We really want to disprove
but
you.
I still agree with my initial stance. I don't care why, or I don't care where Vince bought it from, if it was bought out of bankruptcy court or not. I don't think it's pathetic that he did it.
It was
all
genius.
Right? So, all right, here we go. Hot take number 6. All right. One finisher should end every non-main event match. All right. Now, when I first found this hot take, all right, the actual hot take was that we should only have one finisher to end every match. And even I thought that was kind of a slippery slope. Like, I get, like, you go back and a finisher was a finisher. It meant something. But I think that on a special occasion, which is to say a specific main event situation, and you're looking for the biggest pop, biggest moment, I'm okay with, from time to time, in a main event, a guy kicking out of a finisher to create more drama, right? I loved when Roman Reigns hit Cody with the Crossroads and Cody kicked out, because it gave me one of my favorite moments of that match, which is Roman going, I told you that move ain't nothing. Like the way Roman played off the fact that it wasn't him or it was the move, right? Which is a lot of finishing moves don't really seem all that bad. Like the AA is essentially a fireman's carry. That's all it is, right? But like the DDT, for example, the DDT was a finishing move that is now just done by everybody at random points in a match. And so, but let's talk about it. Seth, we're going to start with you.
Mm-hmm.
So one finisher should end every non-main event match. I'll get the poll set up in the live chat.
I want to agree, but I have to disagree based on the idea that it's every non-main event match. Because I still think some non-main event matches can have a multi-finisher match.
Okay.
But I think that's more on the basis that some finishers now are like the DDT gets overused. Yeah, but I feel like certain ones that are like that are acceptable to be overused because at this point they've become a move with a name and it's still somewhat interesting in its own way. So I feel like we can have more than just a main event have finishers. But I still do agree with the part that there's too many finishers in pretty much every match.
Right.
So
Now,
tone it down, but not that much.
I guess the way I'm thinking about this, right, let me just make this clear, is that when we hit our finisher, go for the cover, you know, like and then we get the 2 count and we get that like over and over and over. Like as long as it works within the story, like I'm okay with when the ref's down, we hit our finisher and there's no one to count the finish. Mm-hmm. That's storytelling. I get that. I like that. But when you're constantly hitting finishers, going for the cover and it doesn't work, then it's not a finisher.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why does Cody need to hit Crossroads 8 times every match?
Yeah.
Right? So that way when Brock hits the F5 on Oba Femi 7 times, it means something.
Yeah.
It means that Oba is a stud and a monster, and you can't stop him. All right. Chris, jumping in here. What are your thoughts on this one? Do you agree or disagree about finishers?
I agree.
We have an agree.
Yeah. My point has basically been said, but I'll elaborate on that a little bit. That I think that the work of the house shows and the work of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown is to build that repetition, to enforce the rivalry, to sell the character. And you have such a respect for the finishing move in the industry with old school guys like The Undertaker. It's not just because the tombstone is dangerous that you can't use the tombstone, but if it wasn't dangerous, if it was something that they didn't ban, you would have to have special permission from The Undertaker to even hit it ever again. And so I think that, like with Seth's example on the DDT, I think that doing a variation in your own style of the DDT is how you could make the DDT a relevant finisher. And then you're allowed to do that as your finisher. But I mean, you're told to design your own personal finisher when you create your character. This is supposed to be your stamp moment. This is supposed to be the moment that no one's supposed to be able to kick out of. So in a house show, in a regular everyday or Monday Night Raw where you're touring the country and you hit that finisher, that's it. Like if your opponent allows you to get that finisher move in, the match is done. But then to your point with the drama and the storytelling, a pay-per-view main event match can go wherever the story needs it to go. But I think I think that the legacy of the respect for the finisher move needs to stay intact.
Right. Like what if everybody kicked out of Goldberg's jackhammer? Kind of makes the jackhammer look like a piece of crap move, doesn't it?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
All right, let's go on to Benny. Benny, give me your thoughts on finishing moves. What do you think?
Disagree, because I really think that we're way past that. I mean, back in the day, Yokozuna with the bonsai drop, uh, Jake Roberts when he dropped you with that DDT, you were going down, you were staying down.
Right.
Paul Orndorff with the jumping pile driver, nobody's kicking out of that. But there was still a very large element of reality to professional wrestling. I mean, I think we're just so far past that. It is sports entertainment. And the emphasis on the entertainment. And I don't think it's not, I think part of the issue isn't even just the finishers. I think it's things that happen during a match that should finish the opponent, but don't. You get clocked with brass knuckles. You get, clocked with a chair. You get power bombed through a couple of tables or an announce table. Things that would, finish the average person or would have probably ended a match, 30, 40 years ago. It goes on and, as if nothing happened.
Right.
So I think, we're way past that. If we're talking, 40 years ago, absolutely yes. Nobody should kick out of the bonsai drop or the, even Hogan's leg drop or, things like that. But I think people would get very quickly bored of the product if the matches were booked that way.
Okay. I think one of my wife's most valid complaints when she watches pro wrestling, and one of the reasons why I have my opinion on this, is my wife tells me all the time, this is ridiculous. Everybody kicks out at 2.5. Every pinfall, it's 1, 2, 1, 2, It's very back in the day, 1, nope. Like, I'm not even close to done. Why, but it's 1, 2, nope, not over. Right? And it's like, so you're telling me that my little clothesline is just as effective as my finisher? Because my finisher got the same 1, 2, kicked out. You know what I mean? So, I think there's valid criticisms on both sides of this argument. I'm really happy about this one. So, Seth, remind me, did you say disagree?
I said disagree.
Okay, so we've got 1 vote agree, 2 votes disagree. Doc, are you going to be the deciding vote here, or are you going to tie it up?
I agree, man. One of my big complaints about modern pro wrestling is these guys look like they booked their matches playing one of the 2K games. Let me spam the finisher, to Benny's point. The chair shots should knock a guy out. Brass knucks should take a dude out because we're just playing WWE 2K over here. It's, there are YouTube channels on wrestling where it's just people playing 2K. And so I think, why don't I just watch that instead of WWE? Because it's basically the same thing.
And AEW,
so yeah, definitely agree.
AEW as well. I'm not going to give them a pass here. AEW.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of no selling going on in AEW. Let me just no sell this guy's finisher.
Right. So right now, guys, we are 2 agree, 2 disagree, and the live chat is split at 50-50. Wow. So we're at a crossroads here. So either somebody needs to jump in the poll and vote within the next 10, 15 seconds, or I am going to be the deciding factor finally. I actually get to be the deciding vote here. Do I side with Doc and Chris saying that I agree, or do I side with Benny and my son? It's very hard for me to side with my son. He does not have a good track record.
Now, hold on.
Except for the last pay-per-view. The last pay-per-view you did
I got
well.
a very good score.
All right. Well, the live chat doesn't seem to be moving. So I'm going to end that poll so that I can be, in fact, the deciding factor here. And
disagree.
Oh, this is tough. See, I think I'm going to have to go with what I think the most Like when I first hear the statement, what is my initial reaction? And my initial reaction is that I agree.
Oh,
I just think that finishers are used way too much and way too often. And then the finisher then becomes just another move in a repertoire. The sweet chin music was amazing. Now, it's not to say that it's always been a finisher, because super kicks were around before the sweet chin music. But now, super kicks don't mean crap. Everybody that can lift their leg does it. The Usos had a back and forth super kick thing. The Young Bucks go super kick crazy. Super kicks mean nothing anymore. And I think that when the finisher gets kicked out of over and over and over and over, it sets you up for a future that says this move is just another move. So I agree. And that means we're going to be moving on. But before we do, I want to make sure everybody out there knows that a lot of us in this group have used DDPY to help us lose weight, get in better shape, get healthy, get stronger. Doc has done so. Benny's done so. Chris has done so. And Chris has done so via DDPY Fast Track Coaching, which I am a DDPY Fast Track Coach. And I want to tell you guys right now, get on over there, sign up, and get 3 months with me. And you'll get real results through real dedication, real accountability, and you'll get real confidence. I can help you with weight loss, strength, flexibility, and like I said, accountability. Just go to ddpyoga.com/products/Patrick-Sims-Track/ you can see it right there. I'm not reading that out anymore. There's too many dashes. All right, but let's move on to hot take number 7. WWE style wrestling is just as good as everybody else's. That means it's just as good as strong style, as lucha, as indie wrestling, or AEW style wrestling. And I'm saying this is a hot take. This is something that people argue about all the time. Is WWE style underrated? Do fans confuse more moves with better wrestling? Is storytelling an important part of this, just as important as the athletic complexity of a match? Does WWE's controlled style make matches easier to follow? Can a simple match be better than a overly technically impressive one? So we all know, I think, that WWE is what we like to call the male soap opera, right? A lot of people like to call it that. WWE is more interested in the entertainment side. It always has been. Now, under Triple H, I feel like sometimes we get a little bit more of the more modern pro wrestling, but it's still mainly a storytelling vehicle. So think about that as we're agreeing or disagreeing. But I'm going to have to shorten this when I put it into the live chat poll. So as I'm getting that done, Chris, you're up first. Do you agree or disagree? WWE style wrestling is just as good as all the others.
I agree.
All right.
And I think it's because when we're saying one is as good as the other, we're putting an unnecessary competition. I think they're different, and I think they have their place. I think that lucha has its place, and it has its culture, and it's very valid, and it's very entertaining. I agree also with the same thing can be said about strong style. AEW has that traditional NWA style where they focus on the play-by-play and the match calling. Tony Schiavone and JR are amazing ringside announcers for that style. And I think honestly WWE is the melting pot of all of that. I don't actually think that WWE has a different formula per se, as it's just the playground where all of the styles get to play together.
Good point. Very good point. Because you want flippy dippy wrestling, they have it. You want the old school technical Bret Hart style wrestling? They've got that too.
Yep.
You know, what's the Javon? You've got Javon Evans. That's your flippy. You got a guy like Chad Gable. There's your Kurt Angle kind of style.
And Ilya
there.
Dragunov.
Yep, there you go. There's another great example. You've got your Hogan-like storytellers like Roman Reigns, right? You've got. I agree with you. Actually, that's a great way of looking at it that I actually didn't think about. That is a fantastic view, right there, and just giving me more reason for me to keep on loving WWE and just remember, like, then. And guys, think about that. What made WCW so great in the mid -- it wasn't just the NWO. Is that they had everything. They had Matt Wrestling.
Chris Jericho.
Right. They had the cruiserweights. They had a lot of great wrestling on there, as well as the story of the NWO. All right, Benny, let's move on to you. What do you think about WWE style wrestling? Is it just as good as everybody else's? What are your thoughts?
Also going to agree because of the excellent points already made. On any given Monday or any given Friday, you know, it is, I think Chris used the term melting pot. You're going to get some strong style. You might get a lucha match. You know, you're going to get the flippy kind of stuff. So you're going to get all of the above. So, yeah, I definitely think that it's as good or better than anything else.
All right. Doc, your thoughts?
I also am in the camp of agreeing. I need a good story. I need a good character if you want me to get invested in what you've got going on. Yeah, give me some good athletic competition, but make me give a damn about why these two guys are going at it in the ring. You know, if I don't know who you are and you're not getting over who you are, you're a good athlete. Great. You can go in there and you can do a flip, or you can go in there and you can beat a guy up. That's great. I can see that on YouTube with bum fights. But,
True.
If I want to know who you are. I want to know why you're fighting. I give me that. Give me that story.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It's one of the reasons why, and this isn't I'm not putting down AEW here. AEW puts on fantastic matches. Chris said in the live chat, especially lately, AEW has been doing a really good job putting on some really great matches. The problem that I've always had is you can put on the best match in the world, but I need to care. I need to give a crap. And there's so many times when AEW will put on just a banger of a match, and you watch it and you're like, whoa, that was incredible. And when it's over, you're like, all right, what does it mean? Why was the match good? Why was the outcome important? Why are these two guys fighting in the first place? I'm just marveling at moves, but I don't feel anything. I don't have a connection to the wrestlers or the match. It could be Joe Blow versus the basic standard create a wrestler guy in 2K. It doesn't matter. So that's why I definitely agree. But, I mean, we're basically there, right? We've already had a majority say so here. But, Seth, what are your thoughts?
I don't think there's much more I can say, but I do agree.
Okay. I mean, the less said, the better, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you disagree...
Why do I agree? Because. Yeah,
right?
That's why.
Because
That's
ChatGPT said so.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion. What are you talking about?
All right, guys, if you're watching along, if you voted in the live chat and you disagreed that WWE style is just as good, I would like to know why. Because so far, all of our panelists here have given you... except for Seth, have given you good reasons why I believe that is a legit thing. But the majority has spoken, both in the live chat and here. It is that our official stance is we agree that WWE style is just as good as everyone else's. So if you are the lone wolf in the live chat that voted against that you disagree, I'd love to know why. All right?
Actually, we'd prefer if you leave.
No. Bad Seth. We love you. We love our listeners on WAT. We love our viewers here on YouTube. We might disagree with them from time to time. They might push our buttons. They might set us off on a tangent. But it doesn't mean we don't love them. We are not liberals and conservatives at a Thanksgiving dinner that are going to walk away and leave or tell them to get out. No, we are good, solid people here. We are welcoming to all. We love you.
But we can still close the door.
Please don't leave. Don't listen to him. Look at that. One person already left, Seth. How dare you, sir? We can't afford these people walking away. You're ruining our average view duration.
Oh, no.
All right. Let's move on to number 8. Hot take number 8. Modern wrestling is too choreographed and too, in quotes, flippy. All right, this is going to be an interesting one, I think, mainly because we have a lot of different age groups here. We have, I don't know what everybody's age is in the live chat, but you got 45.
Hey, we're all adults here.
You got 18 over there. Chris is younger than me. Benny is definitely much more into old school wrestling.
I'm carbon dated. Yeah.
Carbon dated. Doc is slightly older than me, although he doesn't look it. So see what I did there, Doc? Gave you a little compliment there. Yeah, see? We have we have almost this, like just about the same amount of gray in our facial hair. So that's fun. So let's get into this. Modern wrestling is too choreographed or too flippy. Benny, let's start with you. Your take.
To me, this was the easiest one to have an opinion on, and I 100% agree. And all I need is one example, and that is the 4 or 5 wrestlers milling outside the ring, and then you got one on the top rope doing a moonsault, and then you have the 4 or 5 standing there like collective deer in the headlights, trying to do the fair catch,
right,
as I call it. So yeah, to me there's too much emphasis on the shit, getting it in, and not enough emphasis on the match itself.
Hey, no, what are we dropping 4-letter words for?
I'm just dropping the S-bomb. I mean,
oh, I thought you said the SH word. I thought I heard that one. My bad.
You did.
Oh, I did. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
too
don't
much emphasis on the stuff and not enough on the match.
We don't say that or fake. We don't like those words.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We don't like those words on a pro wrestling show. All right. Thank you, Benny. Appreciate that. All right, Doc, your thoughts.
Oh my goodness, I have to agree on this one. This is my soapbox moment right here.
Wait, this is like you haven't been on it for the last hour and a half?
Listen, I'm a pontificator that comes with being Catholic. One of my first wrestling shows
He ain't lying.
to film was the Young Lions Cup back in 2021. We had a number of guys from all over NorCal and some people who had trained at the Nightmare Factory, Cody Rhodes' pro wrestling school. And I'm not going to bury these guys by name, but 2 guys in particular,
Bob and Joe,
were doing, no. And they were doing a top rope maneuver, and basically they were holding hands, opponent and opponent, holding hands. Here, let me help you as you get into position to do this move on me, which I'm sitting there filming this going, oh my God, give me a friggin' break. Come on, suspend my disbelief. Yeah, I know kayfabe is broken, and we know that these are predetermined outcome. But as you said, we don't like this word, so don't make me think that this is all fake.
Right.
And to Benny's point, you got the guys milling out about outside of the ring, looking up, waiting for the dude to moonsault on you when they would just, like at a bad rock show, disperse and let the guy stage dive and fall flat on his face. I mean, come on, what are you doing? Suspend my disbelief. Make me think, yeah, I know it's all predetermined, except for this one. This one looks like these guys hate each other and they're going to beat the crap out of each other. Make me feel that with your match. And unfortunately, so much of pro wrestling today does not suspend my disbelief, where it's very clear that these guys have choreographed it, have played it on a WWE 2K game, and it's all been predetermined. Okay, I'm out. I don't care.
Amen.
Yeah.
If Doc can say that that was his only soapbox moment, then I can say that I haven't had one yet. I'm proud to say that the entirety of every show is my soapbox moment. Doc, I'm gonna get up on my soapbox for this one. That was the funniest line of the day for me. Like, cause like he didn't even finish his sentence, and I was just like, yeah, no, okay, what are we doing? We're just lying to our audience now. Oh God, I love you guys.
Lie. I just exaggerate.
I swear to God, I love you guys so much. All right, Seth, where do you stand on this? Now, you didn't grow up with the old school wrestling like I did. I tried to introduce you to it, right? You've grown up with more modern wrestling. What are your thoughts?
I agree.
Well, hold it up. Yeah. There we go. All right. Why do you agree?
Mine's a bit different because it's not that it just pretty much is acknowledging that it's fake the whole time. It's that there's just no break. And I feel like it's too much. Like, yeah, we don't want the guys just walking around each other waiting for someone to throw the first punch the whole time. But, you know, we can still have that a little bit. Like, why is it as soon as the match starts, it's like, oh, we're both going to throw the first punch. They're never, like, on their toes waiting for something to happen for a moment before they decide, okay, it's my turn to go first. Like, I kind of like that cautious approach to starting a match, or that cautious approach to starting a finisher or something, where they don't really know what's going to happen if they do it, but it's just everything's so fast.
So Seth, I have a bit of a answer for you though about why, right? Why it's that way. All right, it's our fault.
True.
There are two overused, well, besides what? There are two overused chants in pro wrestling. Number one, this is awesome.
Ugh.
The moment
they do it at the most random time.
The moment you start doing a bunch of flippy dippy stuff that looks great but doesn't serve any real purpose, fans start chanting, this is awesome. So it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
And I believe it was back towards like the Attitude Era and just a little bit after that, we started getting an overabundance of as soon as we slowed a match down and as soon as we put in a rest hold so that the wrestlers could talk through the match, so the wrestlers could take a moment to breathe and let the match simmer, fans started chanting boring. We screwed it up. Mm-hmm. Our demands for more caused the wrestlers to do more. Now, if that's what you like, I'm not here to place judgment on whether it's good or bad. We're just agreeing that it's too choreographed, too flippy, or we're agreeing or disagreeing. But if you like it, then great. You know, fantastic. But the reason I believe we've gotten here isn't because Vince wanted it, isn't because Triple H wanted it, or Shawn Michaels wanted it, or Tony Khan wanted it, because you see the amount of injuries these guys are taking. It's not the safest way of doing stuff. but neither was hardcore wrestling with ECW and stuff. But it's we wanted all this. We asked for this, and they're giving it to us. So, all right, before we got Chris left to go here. You just answered that the Attitude Era is overrated. And yes, I do agree. I do believe the Attitude Era is overrated. I put disagree only because I feel it could be more worse.
More or worse.
Or
Like,
how
there
about
could
it-
be more flippiness, which would make it worse.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
You could always have more, but then it's just more, but as right now, as you see it, do you think that it's too choreographed and too flippy? Yeah, it could always get worse. Let's hope not. All right, Chris, what do you got for us?
I also agree. My answer is a combination of everything that's been said so far, and you'll like this. I'll read what I wrote last
And
night.
don't tell me what I think.
And that's that they're all looking for the TV camera angle, the meme, the long-lasting camera shot, the great special effect. I put for the crowd to yell, "Holy S," and this is awesome.
Yep.
There was a time when JR would tell us, "Oh my God, what an armbar that was," and the play-by-play for every single match. He just did a snapmare. And to Seth's point, the drama build, the emotion. The reason why The Rock and Austin was so good was because they brewed each other for a minute, and the camera caught The Rock staring Austin in the face, and there was that breathing, and there was that moment where they drew the crowd in. They would wait to get up to the top turnbuckle, because that's an exhausting move to go up onto the top turnbuckle. So there's drama. It's not a man to Doc's point and to Benny's point, not standing there going, he's gonna jump on me. But it was a creative way to build that drama together, and that match storytelling isn't there anymore. So we're just waiting for that next finisher that's going to be in the long line of 17 crossroads and 17 suplexes that is going to happen anyway, because we're waiting for the crossroads because Cody's in the ring.
Right.
And I think those TV spots are too focused on nowadays and not enough on the story building and the drama and the wrestling.
All right, so we're going to safely say that we on this show agree. The live chat agrees. They 57%. So some people disagree. They say that it's not too choreographed or too flippy. And if you don't think so, great. That's great. That means you're enjoying what you're seeing. Nothing wrong with that, right? You're if you think some people think that the new Superman's good, some people think it's not. If you like it, good on you. Enjoy it. Get out there, have some fun. I loved Masters of the Universe. Nobody went to go see it. I think it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, when I went the second time, there were so many people.
Were there?
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I love that.
The
I
theater
love
was
that.
loud.
I
It
think
was fun.
I think it deserved such good word of mouth. All right.
Yeah.
And the other thing, here's an agree to disagree. I want to get everybody's thoughts real quick before we move on to number 9. Because I thought about this when it said modern wrestling's too choreographed and too flippy, and you guys were mentioning everybody standing there and looking up. We all mentioned it. We just right? I think one of my least favorite moves in execution too. I don't think it looks as great as I think they think it does, and I think it's just stupid. Is the Cody cutter. The guy's just standing there watching him jump off the ropes and has to brace himself for it. And when he does it off the top of the rope, when he goes up to and does a super cut, I think it's even dumber. And that's no offense to Cody. I love Cody Rhodes. But I think the Cody cutter doesn't make sense to me. The guy has to wait for him. It's not like he turns around, his back's to him, and Cody does it, and he turns around and is like, oh, here comes a Cody cutter. No, he watches him do it.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Seth, agree or disagree? Cody
Agree.
Cutter, agree. Chris,
Just step to the left.
I'm generally
Take a step.
interested to know what people think. Chris, what? Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Benny,
The Soul Snatcher by Saul Ruka is exactly the same thing. Here, let me bend down while you climb the rope so you can drop me on my head. I'll wait for you.
yeah, it looks great, but it doesn't make any sense. It would never
No.
like we need. Well, here's what we need in WWE. We need Samoa Joe back, so that when they do those moves, he is the guy that'll just step to the side and let them fly away. Because I love that. That's one of my favorite
I do
things.
too.
When they jump out and he's just like, what are you doing? I
That
see
brought
you.
reality into the storytelling.
Yeah, he's like, I see you. Doc, how about
Yeah.
you? What do you think?
You know I agree. I hate.
All right.
I hate when you telegraph the move. Move
Right.
out of
Yeah.
the way.
All right, guys. And if there's one thing you can telegraph when watching this show, it's that I am a shameless self-promoter. And if you go to any of the major streaming platforms for music, you're going to find Catching Stars by me, Positively Pat Sims. I am super proud of this album. This is my first original music album. The second one is being worked on. It's a process, though, with this second one. So it's taking a little bit longer than I'd hoped. But please get on over to Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, all those streaming ones. Stream Catching Stars if you really want to help me out. Get it over to Amazon or iTunes and buy the album. All right? Help me out. The more support I get on these things, the more I put out there. And not at the speed in which Doc gets his albums out there. But I'm working on it. So here we go, guys. Let's move on to hot take number 9. WWE and AEW fighting each other hurts wrestling fans more than it helps wrestling. Again, we could go back in time in a time machine and we could say WWE and WCW, like butting heads, hurt more than it helped. Now, competition's one thing, right? Wrestling competition is one thing. Being on the same night at the same time, that's competition. That's one thing. But WWE running the Billionaire Ted sketches, did that really work out for them? We always remember the infamous Tony Schiavone. Mick Foley's going to win their world title. That's going to put a lot of butts in the seats. Did that really work out for WCW? And yet, WWE and AEW are still taking shots at each other. And it feels like in AEW when I've seen it, it almost feels like it's an edict from management. Hey, you just came from WWE. Can you just bury them for us, please? Right? And WWE, it's mainly seems to be coming from management. They're the ones talking. Like Triple H has talked down about AEW on multiple occasions. Like, I get that this is competition, but it always seems so petty to me. WWE should care less about AEW. Like, they should check out to see what they're doing, take what they want to take that they like, stay number one, do whatever they need to do to stay number one, but do it while just, like Vince used to say, just worry about yourself. Though Vince never worried about just himself, let's be real. AEW should build their brand on their own merit without taking down the top guy. But that's how I feel about everything. I don't think like baseball teams or football teams need to go out, take the field, and bash the other team before taking the field. Tell me how good you are. Don't tell me how bad they are. Boxers, MMA fighters, I don't want to hear how bad the other guy is. I just want to hear about, go ahead and brag about yourself. I don't mind that. I love that. But that's just me. Let's see how you guys feel. Who went first last time? Did Seth no, I think you went last.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seth
I
went
went
last.
last.
That's right. So that means that, oh, God, I don't even know
I think
anymore.
I go first
You know
on
what,
the 10th
let's
question.
just go back to the beginning. Benny, we'll start with Benny, the ever reliable, Always prepared, Benny Scala.
Money in the bank.
There you go. All right, what
All
do you think?
Now, I'm going to disagree, but I'm going to disagree using competition as the fighting.
Okay.
If they are competing with each other to make a superior product to to garner the fans' attention, everybody benefits from that. Just bad mouthing, no, that doesn't work. But what I don't understand is that the fans are always fighting between AEW and WWE. That's
True.
what I don't get. I mean, I'm going back in the early '80s, and on a given week, I could watch WWF, I could watch Georgia Championship Wrestling, I could watch Championship Wrestling from Florida, I could watch World Class, probably Southwest, and maybe AWA. And I loved every single one of them. I didn't really feel any need to choose any kind of allegiance. Now, of course, growing up in the Northeast, WWF was my home, my home territory. But I welcomed all the, and I don't understand how wrestling has become so polarized from a fan's perspective. I don't think it needs to be. Why can't you love both?
Yeah, I agree. And I do think that some of the blame does belong with WWE and AEW. I mean, when you've got the guy that owns AEW goes on to a major sports network and basically calls the WWE the what's his name? Shoot, now I can't think of it. The guy that he's in jail for like during the Me Too movement. Harvey Weinstein. He called WWE the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. When the guy running the company that you're a fan of says that, like for me, if I was a fan, I'd have been like, oh hell no, I'm not. No, we don't say stuff like that. And then all the that's when I saw such a fan discourse where people were cheering Tony Khan. Yes, WWE is evil, and all the WWE fans were then, no, Tony Khan. Oh, Tony, he's a billionaire's son. He's not he's a billionaire's kid. He's been handed everything on a silver spoon. He has unlimited this. And yeah, I agree with you, Benny, that the real problem is the fan discourse. But how much responsibility goes towards these promotions that are bashing each other on a constant basis? Tony was ruthless with it for a while. He's calmed down a little bit. I think someone finally got to him and said, people really legit think you're on drugs. Like you need to back off. And he has. So good on him for either recognizing that or someone else recognizing it. But, I don't know. It's an interesting question, I think. Doc, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, just look at a wrestling promo. You need a little ish talk in there to make things interesting.
Right.
I'll tell you all day long, Zach Reeves smells like food stamps. Is he a great wrestling promoter? Absolutely. But does he need 7 people to replace Stock Haywood? Yes. Why? Because I am the GOAT. So, I mean, why wouldn't the promotion do the same thing that the wrestlers do? Why wouldn't there be a little shiz talk between these two guys, between these two companies? Right. It's like, yeah, AEW, fine. If you like that, it's great. But you like flippy do no sell. If that's your thing, that's your thing. You want to call WWE the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling? Sure, but Harvey Weinstein was successful as all get out, and arguably the women in movies looked a little better than they do now.
Oh, wow. Wow.
There's your spicy take.
Yeah.
Put that one in the clips and see the flames start.
I've always wanted to go viral. I don't know if that's how I want to go.
Hey, there's a lot of easy ways to go viral with what you say.
Well,
hey,
oh man,
I will take it easy and I will take it twice, baby. I was saying it before you, Pat.
He's taking it 3 or 4 times right now. Seth, what are your thoughts here?
I agree.
Okay.
Because, it's not exactly WWE's fault. I mean, it is, but it also isn't, because it's just what else are you going to do with AEW aside from putting them against people from WWE or themselves? If you just have AEW go against AEW and WWE against WWE, there's like, why have them in the first place? So it's kind of hard to do that. So of course it's going to hurt their fans because like you don't want to see your guys lose to a whole bunch of other guys. But also AEW fans are going to be like, well, we don't want to see our guys lose to yours. So, and then also it's kind of how they're using AEW as well, because you can put AEW against WWE, but also you can also pair them up. You don't have to always be against each other, and they don't really do that. So eventually it's just one company against the other. So it's very hard to decide what exactly happens.
So you agree that the fighting hurts?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little confused by your answer. Can you dumb it down
Because.
for me? Like in
Because.
one sentence, not a run-on sentence.
Okay.
Just one
Okay.
sentence, because I'm very lost and confused at the moment.
It hurts the fans.
Okay. All right.
That's like,
I'm sorry.
That's
No
my
offense,
dumbed down
buddy,
version.
but you went on, and about 30 words in, all I could hear were birds chirping. I had no clue what you were talking about. It was the Beyblade Elimination Burst Challenge all over again.
yeah.
And I can go on some epic rants that make no sense.
Mhm.
Brother, you do it in half the time. I'm proud of you.
And then I
Right.
double up on it.
Yeah, ask Chris. Chris has had to sit through 10, 12, 14-minute morning messages from me that had to have been at times like marathons. You do it in 6.
Yeah.
That's where. So good on you.
But I still give you 14
You still give me. Yeah, it still feels like 14.
He's efficient.
All right, Chris, agree or disagree on this one?
I disagree.
Okay.
I think that we talked about monopoly earlier. I think what a monopoly ends up doing is it creates an environment where they say what's good for us.
Right.
Where WWE gets full creative control over what we get presented as professional wrestling fans, and no one can say otherwise. So I think AEW's existence presents that alternative that keeps WWE saying, we need to treat our talent better. We need to treat our fans better, because if we don't, they're going to go across the street. And that keeps AEW saying, if we don't get better, they're going to stay across the street.
Right.
And so I think the competition, if anything, whether it's shaky right now, whether it's in a season of up and down on either side of the table right now, is arguably one way or the other. I think the competition itself is very healthy.
Yeah, and I agree. And so our official stance, including the live chat, is that we disagree with this statement. Seth agrees, but we just are the official stance of the Positively Positive.
I'm one in
shows,
a
we
million.
disagree. However, because this is my show, I want to preface this by saying that I do think it goes too far sometimes, and that needs to be stopped. I think the promotions need to understand that there is a line that you shouldn't cross, because the fans are already crossing it. And you need, as the promotions, need to set the example and not encourage the division and the tribalism that is seen on the internet, right? Because
competition, not bullying.
Right. We all can recognize that competition is good for business, right?
Right.
So let's be okay with that, but let's not call the competition the Harvey Weinstein. Let's, no matter what Doc says to try to get me in trouble, you can cross the line. And I want to see wrestling promotions. It's okay to go at it, but let's keep it kind of civil, all right? Especially fans, right? Let's not talk about WWE and AEW. Fans, knock it off. Grow up, and let's stop. Let's stop all this. We have don't we have enough division?
I think a kayfabe where the two companies, one is heel and the other one's babyface, and they actually go against each other on purpose would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. But, yeah, guys, I mean, my last question before we move on to the last hot take. Do we not have enough division already out there? We're wrestling fans.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling fans. We should be embracing pro wrestling. If someone wants to like AEW and you don't, shut up. If someone likes to like WWE and you don't, let them like it. If someone wants to like CM Punk, Doc, they should be free to do so.
No, never.
All right, let's move on to our final hot take of the day here. And that is that Roman Reigns is better as a heel. I think, to me, this one's a no-brainer. I'm not telling you what my answer is, but
you better agree with me.
Was his best work as the heel tribal chief? Now, I'm not saying that his previous babyface work is what we're comparing it to. Not the dog food Roman Reigns, not the suffer and succotash Roman Reigns. I'm talking about current day Roman Reigns, who does feel like a bit of a tweener, if we're being real here, but he's definitely more of the baby face. He's more loved by the fans. He's getting cheered out of the building and that kind of thing. There's still some heel elements to him, but is he better as a full-fledged heel when he was running the bloodline and he was creating superstars like Sami Zayn? I'm sorry. Sami Zayn's still in the mid-card without the bloodline. Sami never becomes world champion if the bloodline storyline doesn't happen. It's just not. Right?
Yeah.
Think of Cody Rhodes finishing the story. Does that mean as much as it does without bloodline, full-on heel Roman Reigns? So that's the question here that we have. And I obviously probably just gave away my answer. But, Doc, let's start with you. Agree or disagree? Roman Reigns is better as a heel.
Absolutely agree. Roman Reigns, his peak Roman Reigns was that tribal chief heel stuff. I mean, maybe one of the best heels I've seen in a long, long time, because I actually cared about what WWE was doing when Roman Reigns was a heel. That tribal chief storyline, absolutely fantastic. That bloodline stuff, amazing. Some of the best work WWE has done in years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've got to agree.
Yep. When you have Eric Bischoff, who has every right to basically say the NWO was like the greatest storyline thing, like he has every right to say that, right? Now it got out of hand for let's not get away from ourselves there, but for him to praise the bloodline as being a better story than the NWO, I mean that's a huge deal. That's a big deal. All right, Seth, your thoughts?
Agree.
You agree? All right, we got two agrees.
Yep.
All right, why?
I really wanted to say because. No, it's just I prefer him as a heel. I feel like he was really good as a heel. It's just hard to see him as a babyface.
All right. I mean, yep, that's fair enough. All right, Chris, agree or disagree?
I disagree.
We got to disagree. All right. What do you got for me?
The reason I disagree is because I think Roman is an outstanding heel for all of the same reasons you guys just said. I don't disagree with your guys' points at all. But I think the question of whether or not he's better as a heel, I disagree with. And the reason I say that is because look at Triple H's career. I would argue that Triple H is, if not the best heel of all time, one of the best heels of all time, arguably. And the reason why is because if you rewind the tape and you go back to early heel Triple H, and I don't mean Paul Levesque, I mean the game. I mean after he was already established as
Right.
Triple H. You go back to that, he was disgusting as a heel. The things he did to JR and the things he did like off camera, and he was hitting people with sledgehammers that had no business being hit with sledgehammer. I mean, he was ruthless as a heel. But then he turned around and did DX, which was one of the most beloved babyface factions of all time, and it was amazing at that. And I think that Roman is in that same category where when he's heel, you want him to be heel, and he's amazing as heel. But then that babyface turn hits that pop, and he's huge, and he's loved, and he's amazing as babyface. And then that heel turn again will feel just as betrayed, and we'll hate him just as he has the ability that he's going to flip both sides and do amazing no matter what he does.
Right.
Just like Triple H was doing.
And I agree with you. I think as long as Roman has, I think, some control over his character. Because I think when Vince was trying to make him like I said, the suffer and succotash babyface, it just did not work. The fans rejected it. But this current version of it, which seems like it's still pretty much the same Roman Reigns, but he's playing to the audience a lot more. I agree with you. I do think that's a good, valid point. All right, how about you, Benny? What are your thoughts?
I agree. I don't really see his behavior still is very heelish. I mean, telling people to acknowledge him. And, what was it, a few weeks ago when he had Jacob Fatu take out Eric Andre. And, that was a very heel move. Jey Uso, who was in the faction, is exhibiting a lot of heel tendencies. So I don't really, and even Jimmy took out LA Knight. Was it last Monday night?
Yeah.
I think just by definition, a faction is going to be heel. I mean, how many babyface factions do you have? So yeah, I think he is much better. I don't think that there's much of a difference anyway, except in one instance he's being cheered and in the other he's being booed. But I don't think his behavior changes all that much.
Yeah, I think it's more the audience shifted more than he did.
Yeah.
The audience, after he lost the belt to Cody, he did go away for a little bit. And I think a lot of people realized, like, I'd rather have part-time Roman than no Roman. Right? Like, it's kind of like the same with Brock. Like, over time, it was kind of like when the longer Brock's gone, the more you're kind of like, I'll take part-time Brock. How many of us got excited for WrestleMania for a while just because we knew Taker was coming back? Mm-hmm. Like the WrestleMania might not have even been something we wanted to see. It might not have been a really good build, but we at least got excited because we knew Taker was coming back, and we'll take once a year Taker over none.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what great characters can do. Great performers can do. They make you want to see them regardless of if it's every week, every other week. Like the people giving Punk a hard time right now, you guys can just go sniff some butts. And I'm not talking about you, Doc. I'm talking about the people
better not be.
I'm talking about the people that are out here trying to make claims that Punk is a part-timer. You can just go bash your head against a wall. The dude took a break. There's a difference between being a part-timer and getting an opportunity to go home and recharge your batteries. Because the Triple H regime allows guys to do that. Vince didn't. Triple H does. CM Punk was on our television screens pretty much every week from the time he got back. And the only time he went away for any time was when he was hurt. I was
going to say he got injured.
Yeah, even then he showed up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
CM Punk was a constant. You can think I get, if people don't like him, like Doc, whatever, that's fine. everyone's entitled to their opinion. But you can't make stupid claims like that when the guy's literally been on your TV every week for like 2 years. And because he gets a chance to go home for a little bit, you think that that's somehow a problem and that he's hypocritical and that he's the new, that doesn't work for me, brother guy. Like, get out of here.
Right.
Go away with that crap. All right. So the consensus on the show, however, live chat included, which they voted agree, is that the official stance of the Positively Pat Sim show is we agree that Roman Reigns is better as a heel. All right. So all votes in, live chat included, that is the final. I only had to make the final decision once in this whole show. So that took all the pressure off of me. All of this is on you guys. This is the final results.
Well, actually, you agreed with us pretty much. So
Hush. I can mute you anytime. You are nowhere near the soundboard anymore.
Your mic can still pick me up, though.
I want you guys to realize something before we go. Every time I've tried to set up since Seth started being on the show, I've always tried to think, how can I get the soundboard further away from Seth? Because
it never worked until now.
He's always trying to reach over and hit the echo button or hit some effect button. Yeah, here's how I had to do it. Seth is now on the other side of the room behind a table so he cannot reach it.
Yeah.
And you guys might know if he's trying because he'll disappear from the screen. But he ain't getting close. It ain't happening.
My restroom breaks? Oh, yeah, I just...
Right.
You have no idea. Go and grab a drink.
Right.
Reaching right under that monitor.
All right, guys. So it's been a great show. We got to start wrapping things up. And so the official Positively Pat Sim show rulings are now officially locked in. And some of these takes survived. Some got absolutely destroyed. And some may have just started fights in the comment section. However, they are final. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. But everyone's going to get their chance to say their piece and say goodbye. I want to welcome Brad. Brad, thank you for jumping on the show. It's great to have you on here. Eric Porter, always a pleasure to have you on. Grandmaster, I think I even saw Universal pop in at the beginning.
I know. I think I spoke him into existence when I said we haven't seen him in a while last week.
He is the Joe Hendry.
Yeah,
of
Joe
our
Hendry.
Show. You say his name and he will appear.
His name.
So before we go, I'm going to thank each person individually here, and they're going to get their chance to say their goodbyes, and then we're going to close out the show. So first of all, thank you very much for finally making it on. Thank you for oversleeping this morning because you were so prepared. That's the thing.
I got these laminated.
Thank you for sleeping in this morning. All right, Chris, but give your final words to the audience.
I just created a WrestleMania moment. It's okay.
You did.
Final words for the audience. I know I normally say I don't have anything to plug. I'll plug a couple things here. I also got my copy of Vengeance Blood of the Cross. I'm excited to read it. But I get to plug myself now. I am not only training to become a personal trainer, but I have signed up for the Oregon Pro Wrestling School. And so I'm going to be training to become a pro wrestler myself. So we're going to see where this road takes me. I'm really excited to get started on that. But look out for me out there. I might start promoting myself a lot harder here real soon, but it's a venture that I'm really excited to start. And I wouldn't have even been close to the confidence of changing my life if it wasn't for DDPY and for Pat Sims as a fast track coach.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, guys. And next, I want to thank the most prepared man in pro wrestling podcast history. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, Benny the Jet Scala. Take it away. You're muted again, Mr. Benny.
The pup was barking. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, busy week ahead. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I morph into Benny the Jet on What Radio. I'm doing a show called It's All BS, which is not what you think. Yes, that is my initials, but I'll be playing all of my own original compositions.
Nice.
So I'm very excited to do that. And then Monday night, got True Crime with the Bad Girl, La Playa, and Dangerous Dave. Wednesday, When It Was Real, with Nikita Brezhnikov. Friday morning, the Morning Slam session with Joe Lowry. And, of course, the Positive with Pat Sim show every Saturday at 10 o'clock. And I am reserving blocks of time for myself so that I can read this fantastic book, Vengeance, Blood of the Cross, this week.
Woo! Boy, that book's beautiful. That is a good-looking book right there. All right, and Seth, let's let Seth go first because we're gonna let the heel go last. So, Seth, big thank you for being on the show, and I want to thank you for actually doing your homework this week, coming a little prepared.
I did it 2 weeks ago too.
Oh, okay, well, I'm giving you credit today, so accept the credit today. So, Seth, any final words for our audience?
Surprisingly, I finally have an announcement.
All right.
I have officially started my Lego Ideas For You page, and in the coming weeks, I will have custom creations voted up for people to vote on and possibly become official Lego sets in the future.
Wow, that's cool. What's your first one that they can look at, and where can they go to find it?
You go to ideas@lego.com, and the first idea that will be up is the Mach 6 from the Speed Racer movie.
Wow, very cool. That's awesome, dude. So good on you. Congratulations on that. So make sure you get on over there and help Seth get voted in as an official Lego builder, Lego set creator. All right, let's move on to last but not least. He is the Diamond Standard. I want to thank the one and only Doc Haywood for jumping on here. Doc, take it away.
You know, I got stuff to promote. Like Pat said, I've got a number of albums available on streaming, wherever you stream your music. But I haven't promoted this before. I've also got T-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. You can show that you are a Doc Haywood guy and everyone smells like food stamps. Get on to Pro Wrestling Tees. Look up Take It Twice Tees. The twice spelled with the 2. I got a number of great designs on there that are sure to turn some heads, get you noticed, just like the Diamond Standard right here, Doc Haywood. Who knows, even you may appear on The Price is Right wearing a Doc Haywood shirt.
So show me that again. Show me where it says the Take It to Ice. Okay, yeah. Take it to Weiss. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, which is, I'll admit this, Doc, right now. That is, it's kind of like when you first showed it, I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of funny. And it reminded me of the Fantastic Four. When they
Fan Force Stick.
Yeah, like, it reminded me of that, but yours actually makes sense. It actually reads, if you say it quickly, it reads right, twice. Right, so that's cool. Very, very cool. So after you've purchased my shirt, then go get Doc's shirt. Or after you get Doc's shirt, make sure you get one of my shirts. Ashton Harris, a frequent guest on the show, actually bought one of our Vengeance shirts. And looks great on him. And he was very happy, like I've been saying, with the comfort and the quality of the shirts. That I wanted the best that they had to offer, and we got it. So if you order one of our shirts, they are very comfortable. They're a great fabric. I love them. So, guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us on WANT. If you want to listen to WANT 24/7, just go to WANTradio.com, or you can download the Live 365 app and you can just search for WANT Radio, or you can subscribe to us here on YouTube. In fact, and get on over to YouTube and subscribe to the Positively Pat Sims YouTube channel, where we have several shows, including this one, Warriors Unleashed on Friday nights, and At the Movies on Tuesday nights. All of our shows stream on demand 24/7 after the fact. So if you ever miss a show, just jump right on, and you will get to watch any and all of them whenever you want to. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us once again. This was a great show. I absolutely had a blast. Thank you so much for giving us your thoughts, your opinions. Thank each of my guests for giving us your agree or disagreements here on the show. It was a lot of fun. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, like we always say, like Doc says, I didn't steal it from him though, take it easy. And if it's easy, take it twice. So long, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll see you next week right here on the Positively Pat Sims Show.
The lights are dim, but the room still hums with the echoes of laughter and the moments we spun. Every honest word is like